All right, guys, I'm super late on this video, man. Just getting around to it. But in this video, I'm going to talk about, 5 things that I think could possibly have a chance to appear in Madden 21's franchise mode, the fix of franchise mode, if you will. And I'll get into that. But before we do so, of course, I'm going to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button, cut on your notifications, and definitely hit that like button. Go ahead and hook your boy up with the like. Now, keep in mind, guys, these are not going to be things that are significant as far as, major features. It's way too late for that. I know Sean Grady is saying that, continuous development, could be a possibility, as well as, the roadmap for Madden 22. So I'm just going to showcase some things that I think, might have a chance to be, implemented post-launch. Why sign? That's the first thing I'm going to talk about. I want to know more about why should this guy sign with your team? What's important to him? What are the factors? Is it the money? Is it, proximity to home? Is it, that he's a veteran and certain things are not as important anymore? Is it a winning organization? Is it playing time? Et cetera, et cetera. Now, this was implemented in NCAA 14 and NCAA period. Now, I don't know, how well it worked as far as, that really factor in that engine. I don't know how hard it would be to get something like that. But again, some of the things I'm going to mention might seem relatively simple, and some things might take a little bit of dev work. Again, still not going to be anything that's groundbreaking. I wouldn't expect anything like that until Madden 22. The next thing here would be a little bit of fog of war, man, when it comes to free agents as well. Can we get rid of seeing everybody's bids? I think that's something relatively easy. I do understand when you start messing with UI, it gets a little difficult. But as you can see here, man, we can clearly see who's in the lead. The Patriots, the Bengals, and then you got the Giants there. Now, in the real world, you don't necessarily know that. The only way that you kind of know that, I guess, is if you are negotiating with somebody and they tell you, well, I've got some offers from this team, that team, et cetera, et cetera. But for the most part, you don't really know what they're being offered. So this would make it a little more, strategic, especially for guys like myself that play in a 32-man league. This would prevent, commissioners trying to come up with different times that we're going to advance so guys can't snipe people. And to me, this should be kind of simple. Hide the bids. That should be relatively simple to be able to hide these bids so you cannot see what the other person is bidding. So that's a small fix, but again, this would be something that, would be relatively appreciated. The next thing here would be, who did I draft? As you can see, this guy has a hidden dev trait, which is cool. I like that. But I would like to expand on this. I think they all should be hidden. All of the dev traits should be hidden on all of the rookies. And not only just the dev trait, what about the ratings? I would like to see where we don't even know the rookie's ratings until a certain point. Now, you might be able to get his combine numbers and you can see, where this guy might excel. Like you can see if he's fast or if he's agile and things like that. It'd be, it still would be good to have those combine stats. But how about forcing us to play with these guys to get any of these ratings? See, right here, I can already see, where his speed is, where he's weak, where he's not. How about make this all hidden until a certain point and make preseason matter a little bit? Make us have to get these guys involved. So not only is the dev trait hidden again, and I don't want this to be just for superstar and X Factor guys or star players or what have you. This should be for everybody. There should be a level of dev trait that we cannot see until they've played X amount of time or practice or what have you. And again, take it a step further. Hide the ratings. Now, I know not everybody is going to agree with this, but again, guys, these are just opinions. But I think that's something that could add a little more intrigue to it, whether you're on an online or an offline franchise. The next thing here is something relatively simple, man, but this is something I've been asking for a long time. I like to see a 90-man roster. I like to really, replicate the NFL in that manner where it's multiple people that I have to look at, pay attention to, multiple positions in preseason, and then I can really go through the roster, right? I could have 9 receivers if I want to, and 10 linebackers if I want to, and play all of these guys and see who I like, who feels the best. Again, remember, this would go along with the ratings not being shown. So I would then be forced to have to play these guys to kind of understand what's going on there, right? So I would like to have a 90-man roster, but as well, another little compliment I like to throw in there, as you can see here on NCAA, mass subs. This should be something that you could add relatively easy. Again, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but I would like to even take it a step further than this. I would like to be able to sub in second, third, maybe even fourth. Again, if you have the 90-man roster, but even if you don't get the 90-man roster, if you keep it at 75, I still want to have mass subs, because what I hate in preseason is still they don't sub and sub out accordingly, the way that you would want them to. It's still, for the most part, your starters, then your second team, and that's pretty much it, unless you manually do it. And especially if you run a 3-4 defense like I do playing with the Steelers, most of the time, one of your starting inside linebackers remains in the game, even when the so-called second string comes in. So I would love to be able to just go in and say, boom, let's throw the second team in now. Boom, let me throw my third stringers in now. And then maybe if you want me to have to work a little further beyond that, that's cool. But we gotta have the ability to do mass subs. Come on, man. Again, this is something that was done in NCAA 14, as far as the most recent game that we saw it in. And then last but not least, man, commissioner controls, where I want to be able to restrict what the league members are able to do. Again, there's a lot of commission controls that we would like to see, but I'm talking about things that could possibly happen this year. I want to be able to lock some of these things off. I want to lock off the settings and, the on-field trainer and all of that type of stuff. Allow a setting to where the commissioner can control all of that and the user cannot. The only thing the user can control is, some of those other things, not, things like defensive pass coverage and ball hawk and things like that. I would love to see an ability for the commissioner to lock some of these things, so that the entire league is playing and approaching the game the same way. Again, that's for guys that have rules in place, in sim leagues and things like that. We try to force everyone not to use ball hawk. So I would love to be able to have that type of ability. But again, guys, what I'm talking about here, man, is just things that could possibly, be something that you might be able to add to Madden 21's franchise mode, just to give us something while we wait for the big thing that we will definitely be demanding for Madden 22. But all right, guys, that's all I got for this particular video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, cut on your notifications, hit that like button, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.